$92,000. That's what a spilled rum and coke was worth on a Tuesday night in late September. Not the drink. The drink cost $11. I'm talking about what the drink triggered when it hit the console of a penny slot machine on the third row of a mid-tier casino floor in Reno, Nevada. Because the woman sitting at that machine had already decided to leave. Her purse was on her shoulder. Her player card was already back in her wallet. And then a stranger stumbled past, clipped the cup holder with his elbow, and everything changed. Let me take you back. September 24th, a place called the Silver Pine Casino and Lodge, a two-story property tucked off the main drag, the kind of spot that runs on locals, truckers, and the occasional bus tour rolling in from Sacramento. Nothing fancy. The carpet is that swirly kind that hides drink stains. The ceilings are low. The eye in the sky is real, but nobody's paying close attention on a Tuesday, because Tuesdays don't produce whales. Tuesdays produce retirees on fixed incomes, a few bartenders killing time before their shift, and one woman named Marlene Ochoa. Marlene was 58 years old, a hospice nurse. She'd worked a 14-hour shift the day before, and she'd promised that she would only spend $40. That was her stake. $40, 1 hour, then home. She'd been doing this once a month for 6 years. Her husband had passed in 2019, and the slot floor was the one place her brain went quiet. She sat down at machine number 307, a penny slot called Emerald Dynasty. Dragons on the screen, gold coins raining down in the bonus round, that kind of thing. She played max bet, $1.20 a spin. Because Marlene had done the math years ago. On these machines, if you don't play max bet, you can't hit the top jackpot. And the top jackpot on Emerald Dynasty on this particular night was displayed in glowing green numbers above the machine. $91,842, and climbing. She played for 47 minutes. She was down to a last $4. And here's the thing, Marlene wasn't upset. She'd had her hour, she'd zoned out, she was ready to go. She hit the cash out button. The machine started printing her ticket, a slow, whirring sound. She stood up. She adjusted her purse. She reached for the ticket slot. And that's when Doug showed up. Doug wasn't his real name. I'll call him Doug because Marlene later described him in the incident report as, quote, some Doug from the sports book. He was a heavy-set guy in a Raiders jersey, carrying 2 drinks, walking sideways through the aisle because the aisle wasn't built for a man his size holding 2 full plastic cups. He was arguing with his buddy about a bad beat on a college football spread. He wasn't looking where he was going. Doug's elbow caught the cup holder on the side of machine 307. Both cups went. Rum and coke, ice, lime wedge, the whole thing cascaded across the console, down the buttons, into the ticket printer, straight into the guts of the machine. Marlene jumped back. Doug started apologizing, loud, embarrassed, that specific tone of a man who knows he's about to have a bad night. And here's where it gets interesting. The machine, which was mid-print on her cash-out ticket, made a sound Marlene had never heard before. Not a beep, not a chime, a kind of low electronic groan, and every light on the console lit up at once. Then it spun, by itself. The reels, which had been frozen on her last spin, showing 3 mismatched symbols and no win, started spinning again. Marlene later told an investigator she thought the machine was dying. She thought the liquid had shorted something and the reels were doing a death rattle. Doug stopped apologizing and just stared. His buddy stared. A cocktail waitress 2 rows over stared. The reels stopped, one at a time, left to right. Emerald, 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 emerald. 5 dragons across the middle line, the top jackpot symbol. The machine went silent for a full 3 seconds, and then every speaker on that side of the floor exploded with the jackpot sequence. Sirens, a tower light spinning on top of the machine, the screen flashing the number in bright gold, $91,842. Marlene didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just sat back down very slowly and put her hand over her mouth. Doug, meanwhile, went completely white. Because Doug had just realized he might have caused this. And Doug knew enough about casinos to know that when a machine malfunctions during a jackpot, the house doesn't pay. You've seen the signs. Every slot machine in America has a little disclaimer printed somewhere on it. Malfunction voids all pays and plays. That's the phrase. 5 words the house uses to walk away from millions of dollars every year. And within about 90 seconds, a pit boss named Rory was standing next to machine 307 with a clipboard and a look on his face that told you exactly which way this was going to go. Rory shut the machine down, locked the console, called maintenance, called surveillance, told Marlene very politely that they'd need to investigate before any payout could be processed. Marlene, still in shock, nodded. Doug tried to slip away. Rory asked Doug to stay. Now, quick aside, because these tales always make it sound like every casino floor is a rigged pit of vipers waiting to void your win on a technicality. Truth is, plenty of places pay clean and fast. The trick is knowing which ones before you sit down. Me, the handful of spots I actually play at, I vetted myself. Payouts hit when they're supposed to, and nobody plays cute with the fine print. Where exactly, I left in the description. Anyway, back to Marlene, sitting next to a broken slot machine at 11:14 on a Tuesday night, watching a pit boss decide whether she was about to be rich or about to be told to have a nice evening. Here's what happened next. Surveillance pulled the tape. The eye in the sky had captured every second. They watched Doug spill the drink. They watched the reels spin on their own. They watched the 5 emeralds land. And then, this is the part that mattered, they pulled the machine's internal log, which recorded every single input. The log told a story nobody expected. According to the machine's own record, at the exact moment the liquid hit the console, 3 buttons registered simultaneous inputs. The max bet button, the spin button, and the service call button. All 3 at the same millisecond. The liquid had bridged the contacts. The machine, as far as its own software was concerned, had received a legitimate command to place a max bet and spin. In other words, the machine hadn't malfunctioned. It had received an input from a liquid, and that input had, by every technical definition the software cared about, been a valid play. The state gaming board got called at midnight. An inspector drove out from Carson City. He arrived at 2 in the morning, reviewed the surveillance footage, reviewed the machine log, reviewed the maintenance report, and made a ruling on the spot. The spin was valid. The jackpot was owed. But here's where it gets interesting, because the house didn't just have to pay Marlene. They had a much bigger problem. Doug. Doug had spilled the drink. Doug's elbow had, technically, initiated the spin that produced the jackpot. And Doug's buddy, the one arguing about the bad beat, was already on the phone with a lawyer cousin in Sacramento. By 3 in the morning, Doug was claiming he was entitled to a cut of the winnings because his action had produced the result. Marlene was sitting at a coffee shop across the street when a security guard came to get her. She'd been there for 2 hours, drinking bad coffee, waiting. When Rory told her the payout was approved, she cried for the first time. When Rory told her that the man who'd spilled the drink was now demanding half, she stopped crying and got very, very quiet. Question for you, and I want to hear this one in the comments. If a stranger's accident triggers your jackpot, does he get a piece? Morally, not legally. Drop your answer below because I've seen this argument split a room down the middle. Here's how it resolved. The house paid Marlene the full $91,842 the next afternoon. They cut her a check, walked her to her car, and comped her a suite for the night, which she didn't use because she wanted to go home. Doug's lawyer cousin sent a demand letter 2 weeks later. It went nowhere. Nevada gaming law is very clear. The registered player at the machine is the winner. Full stop. Doug got nothing. Doug also got a trespass notice from Silver Pine because his blood alcohol that night was, quote, not consistent with responsible patronage. Marlene paid off her mortgage. She kept working hospice, said she loved it too much to quit. She hasn't been back to a casino since. Not because she's scared, because in her words, how do you top that? And if these stories keep pulling you in, you already know what to do. So here's the real question, the one I've been chewing on since I first heard this tale. Was Marlene lucky, or was Doug? Because Doug walked out of that casino with nothing, sure, but Doug also walked out without owing anyone $92,000 in damages for breaking a slot machine. Some nights, the person who wins big and the person who loses nothing are the exact same person. You decide who came out ahead. I'll see you on the next one.